Alright guys, as you can see, today's chart, I hope it's coming out well. But if you can't see, transiting Sun, 25 degrees Taurus, is sextile my North Node in Cancer, and transiting Jupiter is sextile my natal Sun. So I have two aspects. I have the transiting Sun in aspect, and I have my natal Sun making an aspect to a transiting planet. So let me delineate, let me interpret what that means from my personal breakdown of the experience of what's going on today. A lot of things having to do with the domestic situation. Let's start with the first one. Let's start with the North Node sextile, right? North Node, this the transiting Sun sextile my natal North Node. Today, even right now, I just feel like crying, cancer, tears, eyeball, stomach. I feel my stomach was hurting today. My stomach was acting up today too. I had to use the bathroom out of nowhere multiple times today, like once in the morning, two while I was driving, which I'll get back to that situation later. Three, three, I was about to get some more food. I was about to get some food from a shop. I almost felt like throwing up again. My stomach has just been acting up today. Um, I feel like crying right now. I'll tie back into it, but yeah, that's all. That's all the moon. That's all the moon. And I guess since transiting Sun is in Taurus, value food. What I ate, I felt like throwing up. Not necessarily because it was bad food. That's not it. It's just like I ate food or involving every time I had to use the bathroom. It involved me like right after or right before getting some food today. Um, um, Things were brought up today about money and my lack of it at the moment in time. Um, um, Lunar eclipse. Also, lunar eclipse is 25 degrees Taurus and Scorpio today. So I'm actually having a lunar eclipse. Oh, I had a lunar eclipse happen last night on my North Node as well. So a lot of things happening to my North Node. Uh, um, what else is actually relevant about that? Yeah, home situations. This gonna tie into the Jupiter transit trine my natal sextile my natal Sun. I was in a lot of home and domestic situations. I had conversations about my father today, Jupiter, um, about his home life back in his country. I spent a lot of time with my father today. We went over to his friend's house, and his friend had a lot of construction work that he was doing um, on the home. Jupiter's the father. Uh, Where's Saturn today? No, Saturn is 1 degree off, but it's if you want to count that as still in conjunction range. I'm only talking about exact conjunctions right now, so I'm not gonna count that. But I'm telling what's actually happening. Um, uh, damn. Shit, my head is hurting, bro. It's like I just feel like busting out crying right now. It's weird. It's very weird, very very weird. Um, think, Chris. Think. I've just been having headaches today. It's crazy. Um, yeah, but I went to with my father. We traveled. We traveled, which is the Sun. The Sun was actually doing something with my father, Jupiter. We traveled. Jupiter is in Aries right now. We traveled. It was aggressive on the highway. Cars were zooming by fast as all hell. Um, People were just more aggressive than usual. When I tried to go get my food, the person on the phone, I was being as calm as possible, but he was trying to haggle the price with me, trying to get it to be higher than it usually is. He sounded mad on the phone. While I was driving to get there, I had to honk someone because I couldn't tell what they were doing because they were being sporadic, and they got a hostile with me. Yeah. Um, once we finally got to the location of my father's friend, we met him, my father's friend, in his house. In his house. uh, in his house, which is the home again, North Node in Cancer. Uh, and they were talking about, and I was listening to them talk about um, um, all the construction work being done, all the construction work and how they were doing to build the home, renovate the home. Again, my dad and him were sharing stories about uh, how they had to come up from the struggle, how they got there from their past home life and and how they came to America and how they're living this home life. I have Jupiter and Saturn conjunct natally in my chart, which points to foreigners. So yeah, and again, Jupiter and Saturn is only 20. Saturn is only 1 degree off, so it still counts. Like it still counts, even though I'm trying to just specifically talk about exact conjunctions today. I still have to bring up what I saw in my father's friend's house. He had a bookcase, which is Jupiter, education, things like that. We had a small mini discussion about that. Um, um, I had to go to a school today to pick up my niece. Again, Jupiter, niece, woman, and my niece is a woman. Cancer describes woman of all caliber. So I picked up a woman, my niece today, uh, um, from school, and she was having and she herself is going through her first Saturn square. So of course the female teacher at that, again more Cancer, had to tell me that she wasn't doing well, yada yada yada, something homework, yada 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 yada. Again, homework, problem with the homework, home domestic situations, Cancer. Uh, and as my dad is recollecting the story of the hard life that he had with me, he's giving me the entire I perceived the entire day as fortunate because I was with my father. He was providing me good fortune. He was providing me with some, not even directly but indirectly, teaching me things about construction, which is Saturn. Construction, instruction, the father. Well, okay. Jupiter is education. Saturn is the father. If I've been saying that wrong this entire time, again, my brain is not, it's not functioning 100% right now. I'm really going through the shit right now. Um, I don't know what trines or squares I'm having right now, if I'm having any. Yeah, Saturn is still in Aquarius. Sun is still in Uranus, so that's a square right there. So that's why I'm feeling really in pain today. Besides having just stomach issues, I'm really in pain. Um, Cancer to Aquarius. How many degrees? Oh, all right. Cancer to Pisces is 120 degrees. Cancer to Aquarius is a King Kongs. That's a King Kongs. Um, Everything else is in Venus is also in Venus is also in Aries, and it's 30 degrees away from my natal Venus in Taurus. So there was a lot of karma. There was a lot of indirect karma. That's where the indirect karma, because since my North Node is in Cancer, which means I'm destined to do that. My dad showing me how his friend built his house. My dad telling me how his life was hard and how he managed his money, specifically we got into a conversation in the car while I was waiting for my niece to get out of class, to get out of school. My father was giving me a conversation about how he managed his money even when times were hard, right? So Saturn had a big role. Saturn had an amazing role because my father played the role of a teacher today. He played the role as the Jupiter, the father that gives fortune. So yeah, actually yeah, that actually counts too. Because Jupiter is the part of the father that gives fortune. Jupiter actually gives an indication to the father as well, but the direct indication of the father is Saturn, and it can actually be, guess what? Cancer. It could also be it could be Saturn, or it could also be the moon. Cancer. Moon is in Sagittarius right now. And guess what? My father, sun sign is a Sagittarius. Go figure. Oh, you see how all of that lines up? See how all of that lines up? Moon in Sagittarius is emotional ties or bonds to travel, education, car, train, bus, club. We drove a car over to Brooklyn from Queens. So we did travel. All of that happened today, and I was seeing all of these happen. I was literally seeing all of these happen. The only thing I knew, because I didn't check my chart until I just got home from being awake all day today. I was awake all day from I literally woke up 2 minutes before the first cusp. And if you know what that is, I'm not gonna explain it. You should know that. I don't know if I'm gonna post this or not, or it's just going to be a video log for myself. But I have this. Um, um, I, that Saturn. I think it's the Saturn square because my head is in pain right now. My head is in pain. I'm just in pain. Like I feel like just breaking down and crying right now. Breaking down and crying. I can go into emotionally why I feel this way or not, and da 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 da. I've already given you the transits. You can do a delineation for yourself to figure out why. If you want to paint it out in a storyboard, why I feel this way doesn't really matter. These transits point to or give a indication to me physically, if we're going off the ascendant, which I'm basically at this point in time using the sun in this transiting chart as the ascendant, because the ascendant is what you physically going to do and things actually happening to you in reality. And the sun in my chart, every time I track the sun and the sun comes over a placement, I actually physically go do something like it's the ascendant, like it acts as if it's the ascendant. So I'm not going to necessarily say your sun sign is your ascendant, because my sun sign is not my ascendant. My sun sign is in Gemini. My ascendant is Virgo. But every time the sun transit my sun sign, or maybe yeah, every time the sun makes a transit to a position in my natal chart, it acts on me completely physically. I go to places, I experience things come to me out of nowhere that indicate I need to go do stuff, and I do it. So I'm running the chart. So from my personal experience, I'm running the sun as if it's another way to look at the ascendant, but it's not your ascendant. Um, um, that's about it so far. That's about it so far. That's about it. Where the transiting moon is in Sagittarius, natal moon is 30-degree aspect away from it. So that's karma. Karma, I guess what I ate makes me want to throw up. Karma, I guess that's an extent of karma. Um, or how I've been moving, or how fast I moved today, just gonna make me want to do that, I guess. Or how I have been eating as of late is gonna make me want to throw up, I guess. I'm not a pro at delineating. This is really just supposed to be for me to have saved so I can write down and record this transit in my astrological logbook. Um, and I guess for me to make personalized content for my channel and seeing and letting people know. Because I feel like I will post this eventually, but it's going to be like long after these transits actually happen, maybe like a month after. But right now I'm going through it. That Saturn square, pain. I just feel pain. Saturn is pain. Saturn is pain, and I just feel tired. I don't, old, tired. Like worn out. I feel worn out. Like I've been used a lot today because I've been doing a lot today. I had to handle that Arian, Jupiter in Aries energy. I had to deal with a lot of aggression and physically, physically, physically restrict myself, physically restrict my own damn self from lashing out. And when you physically restrict yourself from lashing out, you are still using energy. It takes energy to stop just as much as it takes energy to clap back. If anybody really thought that there was no difference or anything like that. Um, yeah, okay. I just figured it out. A King Kong's is physical exertion. A King Kong's is physical exertion. Yep. Yep, because I'm missing one of the aspects. I'm missing what it means. Uh I was missing what it was meaning. The King Kong's is physical exertion. My my ascendant is Virgo. My ascendant is Virgo. 150 degrees away from Virgo is Aries. So King Kong's, I had to physically stop myself. I had to physically hold myself back from falling into this Aries energy. Because Aries is, if you didn't know about Virgo ascendant, if you count through the houses, the eighth house is Virgo. That means sex. That means rebirth. That means death. I didn't talk to no biddies today. Although I just saw a bunch of niggas. Well, I know there were a couple of biddies, but I'm like, they were young, like children, like high schoolers. So no, wasn't doing that. No, no, wasn't gonna do that. But most of the people that were getting aggressive with me were men, and I don't want to activate Aries while it's in, while it's in my eighth house. Even though Jupiter is in there for good fortune, Jupiter points to good fortune, but it also points to overindulgence, as in too much, and too much of anything will kill you. If you drink too much water, if you have no water and you've given water, you're abundant now. You've won. You have victory. You have to do it. Jupiter. You drink too much water, you get into a pool, too much water gets into your lung. What happened? You drown. Don't play with your eighth house. Chill. Don't play with your eighth house. I don't care what energy is around you and how you feel like acting. Chill. Do not play with your eighth house, especially if you're a Virgo rising. Whatever your eighth house is, don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. It could be favorable to you or it could not. Don't play with your eighth house. Um, um, but as far as I'm concerned, I don't know the exact astrological formula yet to be able to say you're going to do exactly this. You're going to think this, you're going to feel this, you're going to taste this, you're going to touch this at this exact moment in a second. This is exactly how you're going to react. This is the moral decision you will make, whether it's going to be a good one or a bad one. And I haven't found an astrologer yet who has found out how to do that. So until that day comes, you're going to have to use astrology to be like, oh, I know what kind of energy is coming today, and I know what transits are going on in my life, so I know how to act accordingly to it. So I actually won overall today. I am physically worn out and tired. Again, King Kongs. I'm physically worn out and tired from just restraining myself. And yeah, yeah. Only thing you can prove is you are going to restrain yourself no matter what. Or nah, you are going to have physical exertion. You're going to spend energy to do something or to stop yourself from doing. You're going to spend physical energy today. Period. That's all these aspects are telling you. This is going to happen. How you feel about it and how exactly it's going to happen to the exact pinto second, we don't know that level of detail yet, but we can tell you when this is here, these events are going to happen in your life. That's astrology. That's astrology. That's astrology. Y'all are going to use me as a guide. Y'all are going to use me as a guide. Right. Y'all are going to use me as a guide. You better figure it out. Better figure it out. Catch y'all next time. Oh, follow me on TikTok, Kid Mercury. Hit me up for a reading. All I'm going to do is read your ascendant. Read the description in my Instagram bio. I'm going to read your ascendant. I'm going to tell you your sun sign. But you must provide your date of birth. And if you know your time of birth, if you don't know your time of birth, as of right now I'm recording this video, I will take your sun sign, put it on your ascendant. Guarantee you, I'm going to still give you a pretty accurate reading. Catch y'all next time. Instagram, desir.chris, if you're seeing this on YouTube.